So the big question is this. How were two women who didn't cheat and purchase a gym franchise model, how were they able to spread their mission and purpose by empowering and transforming hundreds of women's lives through fitness, nutrition, mindset, and accountability with a micro gym business model of women only? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. We are LadyStrong Fitness.
What's up, guys? This is Marcia
and Melanie,
Tiari, Stephanie,
Shauna,
Brianna, and Brittany.
And we are the Green Squad team here at LadyStrong Fitness. And today we're going to break some myths. All right, guys, so let's talk.
I feel like who's afraid of the dark?
Yeah.
Are you go first or am I go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Would you guys agree with me that the biggest myth amongst women when it comes to fitness is when they lift weights, they're going to get bulky?
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
I even thought that early on.
Yeah?
I feel like I even thought that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did.
Why?
Yeah.
I think it's just lack of knowledge more than anything. Like you just don't. I think when you don't understand like how your body works and how like lifting weights and doing cardio and like all how different, depending on your goals, how things work, you just assume that when you see things on TV or you see things on social media, you're like, oh, I don't want to look like her. She's got veins popping out and stuff like that. You're like, but it's like it takes a lot of work to get to that. But when you're new, you're like, that's what you assume if you start working out, that's exactly how things are going to work. So I think that's why I thought that way. It just was lack of knowledge more than it was anything else.
I also think too that when you think of the gym, you think of men.
Yeah.
And it's like how the men look all big and bulky, and then as women we think of what men do to get there. But our body types are 100% different. We don't have the same anatomy. The way we build muscle is different. So I think that's why ladies think that way.
Yeah, I think that too. And I think that like even with our workouts that, because even like something that I've noticed is like you just hit workouts do different things than like basic bodybuilding workouts.
So what's HIIT for the average person that doesn't know what that
HIIT's
is?
just like cardio, like high intensity interval training. So like short bursts of work, short bursts of rest, like getting your heart rate up, bringing it down, getting it up, bringing it down. Like that's what burns fat and builds lean muscle. So like lean muscle is different than like muscle mass. There's a complete difference, right? So if you're doing like just sets and reps of things is different than like coming into a LadyStrong class and doing like a 60-minute HIIT workout. Like your body reacts differently to different workouts, but if you are somebody who is 30, 40, 50 pounds overweight, you need HIIT training because you need that high intensity training to get the fat off. And then once you get to like a goal weight, then you could maybe start incorporating that like kind of like sets and reps where you can start now building lean muscle. Because if you're building muscle under fat, you're just making yourself fatter, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying?
So Tiari, let me ask you, I'm gonna hand the mic over to you. What is one benefit to lifting weights, I guess? To break that myth, what is the benefit that you could share?
I would say like, my myth kind of goes in tail with that.
So the second myth.
The second myth, perfect. So I would say like the second myth is that you, if you do cardio, you'll tone up, and you'll get rid of cellulite on the back of the legs. That's like what most women struggle with. And, they want to like get a bigger butt and like tone their arms. They want to get rid of the bat wings, the back fat, the bra fat, all that stuff. And they think cardio is going to do that for them. Cardio will help, the journey on losing weight, but in order to tone up, you have to strength train. So that's a really big,
I like that. Heavy.
Lift heavy,
I love it.
Yeah, get strong. The whole goal is to get stronger, right? You're not going to go into it like immediately lifting 50 pounds, and grabbing the heavy stuff. You have to perfect the form first.
Right, for sure.
But then after that, it comes with strength, and it really transfers into your life as well. You feel stronger, your back will feel stronger. Like people think like, oh, just to have like a back, nice and defined back. Like no, you'll feel like when you're grabbing something as simple as your groceries, or like, oh, I'm not like my back doesn't hurt anymore because you're getting stronger.
So would you agree that strength and cardio go hand in hand?
Yes.
You need both and not one or...
No, definitely. Yeah, well, because cardio is, not only just to help lose weight as well, but heart health, that's the most important thing. You want to live a long, healthy life, and you got to do both.
Cool.
And I think it's like the right kind of cardio too, because
For
like
sure.
it depends on like, let's just say you are, so like everybody has different goals, everybody is different places. So like if you are somebody who is already at that goal weight and you maybe have like 2 to 3% body fat left to lose, but now you're wanting to tone up, then like steady state cardio is better for you. But if you are like on a treadmill or elliptical or like a Stairmaster, like that kind of cardio is really good for you when you are like doing sets and reps, and then you want to add like list cardio or whatever they call it, or low intensity cardio. But if you are somebody who has 15, 20, 25, 30 pounds left to lose, and you have 10%, 15% body fat to drop, like you have to do that high intensity cardio with strength training in order to really build that lean muscle and shed that fat.
I'm saying we do a lot of that at LSF.
We do that, and that's why I think the workouts are great for people who are looking to lose, double digit pounds, right? And I think it's great too for like people who are just looking to tone up and stuff like that as a supplement.
Yeah.
Right, so there's two different kinds of people who are looking to supplement their already like strength training regimen, or people who are coming in to lose weight. So like defining that goal.
Myth number 3, are you next?
Yeah, well, that was mine. It was
Hand the baton.
well, it was that you don't only need to do cardio to lose weight, because that's a lot of people think, like, oh, I gotta go running every day to lose the weight, and that's gonna help me get there faster, right?
So what was yours? Yours was number 2.
Just cardio to tone up.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yours was cardio
Just
to
to
lose
lose weight.
I like that.
Yeah, for sure.
See, what do you got to add to that?
One thing.
Oh yeah.
So I think this is a myth, not just from women, but all around in weight loss. People think if you work out every day, you're going to lose weight, and they don't understand how much your diet plays into that. Not only
That's
to giving you the energy to work out. So if you're starving yourself or you're eating unhealthy food, you're not going to excel in your workouts. But also that you think, oh, I lost 500 calories today, I can go eat Portillo's. That's not how this works. And when you look at research, they vary in percentages, but 70 to 80% could be of your diet. So sometimes people come in there frustrated that they're not seeing any change, but then look at your diet, what you're drinking, what you're eating. So I think that's a big myth, that if you work out every day, that's all the change you need, and it needs to be your diet. So as well.
My myth kind of goes hand in hand with Shauna's. So myth number 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Myth number 5 is if I eat carbs, I'm going to gain weight. And that is so not true. Especially, we need those carbs for the energy, to push your weightlifting, to push all the way to the end. And that's the first thing that's burned during your workout. So we need to replace it after you're done working out. And I think a lot of women are in that stereotypical, it's going to gain weight, pastas.
Yeah.
So eating less is never...
Well, just eating carbs in general. People think, and mine ties into hers actually, is like, that's why we talk so much about macros, like talking about macronutrients and like tracking macros. So like, that's what was my myth, is like, should I or should I not track macros? Or like, what is a macro, right? Or is flexible dieting, like, does that really work? And it's like, for the majority of women that we see at LadyStrong, it does work really well for them, because they come from the yo-yo diet group, or they've tried juicing and cleansing and everything else, and teas and detoxes and everything else that they have tried. And this is myth number 6.
What is it?
It is, should I or should I not track macros? Or will tracking macros actually work for me? It does for a lot of people. Like for me, it works really well. I love tracking macros because I'm the kind of person that's always been, I can't be too strict with myself. I just can't. I don't work well like that. I can't be a all or nothing person. It's very difficult for me to have that mindset. I think it is hard for a lot of people we meet too to have that all or nothing, because that's the world they come from. Like, I have to just cut all the carbs and just eat 1,200 calories and all these different things. Or they're coming from like these HCG diets where they're at like 500. Right. I was tying that in Brianna's about carbs, is like, when you track macros, carbs is a huge part of tracking macros. And when we're doing this 45-day challenge with all these girls, like, a lot of us think that let's just cut the bread or cut the carbs, and when we're telling people to eat 1,800 calories a day when they're used to eating 700 or 800, they're like, oh my god, this is so much food. And all of us who know, we're like, I would die for that much food,
Yeah.
And I think
another
go ahead.
No.
And I think I've heard this from you before, is that if you can't make your diet for, say, a lifestyle, then it's very hard to attain. And then if you lose all that weight, say on a keto diet, and that lasts for 2 months, it's really easy to gain that weight back.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Eat a donut, it's over.
Yeah.
Wait till all that.
And at the end of the day, a calorie is a calorie, right? Protein, carbs, anything. But it depends on what you're choosing to eat. So I can hit my macros eating Krispy Kreme and, hit my macros. But like when I used to work, an 8 to 5 at a desk job, go out to eat with my coworkers, they'd get burgers and fries. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll get a burger and fries. I'd literally almost fall asleep at my desk, like eating something super heavy. Is a burger bad? No, but I just like eating that at a certain time versus if I had like my good seasoned, chicken and my broccoli and my rice, I feel like I have energy. I'm like, I feel good. I feel light.
You are what you eat.
Yeah, exactly. You are what you eat. So at the end of the day, a calorie is a calorie, but you have to be conscious of what you're doing, getting like, your greens in, your nutrition, nutritional value, getting your fiber in, like all that stuff comes into play. And but that's really, really important.
Melanie.
Yes.
Number 7.
So my myth was, if you're not sore the next day, then you didn't try hard enough during your workout.
I like that.
And I mean, I've thought that before, like, oh my God, I'm not sore. And we did like a lot of squats today and I don't feel anything. And I'm like, darn it, like I didn't work out hard enough and I feel bad about myself like the next day, which they shouldn't because, I did work out hard enough. Like I pushed myself during the workout. So, you still get, good workout even if you don't feel sore the next day.
I love that.
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Talk about that a lot.
I literally, like it's just something so important like that, if like people just think that you have to be sore. Like in the beginning when I started working out, I was really focused on glutes, glute training, and like I'd wake up with my boyfriend, he's like, oh, I'm so sore today, like, and he's like, and I'm like, oh my God, my butt is not sore, I'm so mad. I was like, my butt, like I just didn't target my butt, and I'm like, oh, and I was seeing the results, right? But I was like, I'm not getting sore. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? I'm like, I'm going heavier, I'm doing everything I have to do. So it took like a lot. I think it's more of a mental thing. You do not have to be sore. Of course it's going to happen.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, and
go ahead.
And it's going to happen. Like, you're going to be sore, of course, when you PR and you hit like PR is a personal record. But when you hit like, a new goal and you're going heavier, it is normal. And then on top of that, recovery goes into play. Like, recovery is extremely important for muscle building. That's when you're actually building muscle, not when you're tearing up the muscle when you're working out and you're doing the right exercises for your goal, but you're building muscle when you're, drinking your protein, like your shake, if you're having your protein shake, eating your protein or, et cetera.
So to add to that muscle soreness, a lot of people have what's called DOMS, that delayed offset muscle soreness, where it doesn't hit them until like 2 days later. You're like, oh my God, where'd that come from? And it's like everybody's body type is different, because I know Brittany will like finish a workout, she's like, I'm so sore. I'm like, I don't feel anything, and 2 days later it's like, damn, I feel it now. So like everybody's different, right? So to add to the nutrition part, there was one thing that eating less is better. A lot of women coming into this program, they don't eat and they think that they're going to lose weight. Do you find that to be the opposite? Is that not? That's not true, right?
It's not true.
Yeah.
I think some of our ladies get like even surprised that like when we give them their calories and we give them the list that they have in body, when we give them like what they have to eat, and like they get kind of like, whoa, like I can really eat that much, and like I'm even having trouble, like some of them even find themselves eating more nutrient dense food, that they find themselves having a harder time hitting their calories, and you're like, you were just under eating, but eating like the bad foods, and like I feel better, and so that has a lot to do with it as well.
I think that like when it comes to that piece of like working in quarantine, when we did the macro shred challenge and all the macro challenges that we've done, and just like the in-body scans have really helped too. Like when we did the 30-day challenge and everybody got their initial in-body scans, that was a conversation we had at orientation. I'm like, do any of you guys even think you're getting close to the calories that are on your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, which is the amount of calories that you need just to survive every day? That doesn't even take into account your workouts at all. And they were like, no. And I'm like, yeah, like that's the amount of calories you need to just like live
lay in
right,
bed,
not even like lay in bed and not move, like.
Yeah.
And then you're working out 6 days a week or 5 days a week on top of that. Like you have to be fueling your body if you want to see the changes. And I think it's not necessarily like a physical thing, it's more mental for them. Like to even think that they have to consume that many calories, they're like, I can't eat 1,500 calories. Are you nuts? They're like
intaking. Like when you start working out, that's why it's so important to meal prep and things of that nature, because when you start working out, you're going to be hungry, and if you don't have that meal prep, then you're going to eat whatever you can, because you're exactly. And people don't understand, like, I've been working out, because I had to explain to some family members, she's like, I've been working out a lot and I'm really hungry. I'm like, that's what's going to happen, because your body's like, okay, I need to replenish my nutrients and everything. So I think sometimes people get shocked at that, like, oh, I'm so much more hungry. Well, yeah, it's because you need that energy, you need that source. Another myth I hear people say a lot, and it's a poster, and I hate it. It's just all around in fitness world, is pain is weakness leaving the body. And sometimes I see our ladies truly in pain, not discomfort. Working out can be uncomfortable. You're challenging yourself. But if you're in true pain, that is not weakness leaving the body. That's your body telling you you need to stop what you're doing.
Like you're not doing
It's
something right.
it's an alert, like you're hurting me. So I want them to understand that. They're like, oh, it's hurt, but I'm gonna push through. No, because you can cause more injury, and you don't want to take off for this week, but then you may have to take off for months, and what's that gonna set you on your fitness goals? So you should listen to your bodies. There's a difference between discomfort and pain.
It's kind of like no pain, no gain.
Like, don't go through the. I always say that, ladies, do not go through the pain. Let me know if you guys need a modification for something. And then wait, I want to say something about the in-body scan, because I was a testimony for it, because I got it done pre-quarantine. I was weighing, I'll share my weight with you guys, 144. Okay, 144. And my muscle mass, I went to go get the in-body scan again, that I was like begging Stephanie to do. I'm like, can you please do it again? I'm so curious after quarantine. I'm like, because I had my weights at home, and whatever. I weighed at 141, okay? So 3 pounds lighter, but my muscle mass went down. So that is why the in-body scan is so accurate, that you cannot beat yourself up over a regular scale. And the fact that I mean, I'm just so happy we have that in the studio to like give this, like the ladies a relief of stress, to be like, do stop beating yourself over up that number, because I'm telling you, I lost 3 pounds, but I lost muscle mass because I was the gym, like, the gyms were closed. Like I wasn't working out as much, in the beginning. And sure enough, when I did it again, I'm like, 3 pounds lighter. That was muscle. It was muscle that I lost. You're like, I was like, no.
And what I like that you brought up about the weight, and we've had some ladies post about this, like they'll look and say, oh, I only lost 5 pounds. But then when you look at their pictures, so I think we need to stop focusing on the scale and look how your body's changing, because muscle weighs more than fat. And look at those before after pictures, because they'll say, oh, I only lost 5 pounds, but look at your body change. Like, look at how your dress size went down. And so I think people need to stop focusing on the scale as much and looking at their body changes and the small victories.
You wanted to be there at one point, now you are there. Enjoy it while you're there.
So what about, I want to talk about calorie deficit, like calories in versus calories out, because a lot of women think that when they work out, the calories that they burn after they work out, they have to re-eat them.
I think that's okay, so one thing I notice is on my MyFitnessPal. When people track on my MyFitnessPal, one thing I always have to mention is don't eat your calories that you worked out back. Like in MyFitnessPal is very deceiving with that, because like when you put your exercise calories in, it will take them off and then add them back to the calories you need to reconsume. And you can actually take that feature off, but I would just recommend not even tracking your exercise. It's not necessary to track your exercise in MyFitnessPal. Just track your food, because that's deceiving. And there are so many times where I've worked with people and they eat their calories back, and I'm like, don't do that.
Women are burning up to 600 to 700 calories in a class.
Yeah, like don't do that. Yeah, it's just, honestly, guys, it's like we were talking about budgeting earlier. It's just like money in versus money out. Like you have to be consuming, you have to be burning, what is it, like 3,500 calories a week to lose 1 pound, right? Yeah. Right? So, and that comes from exercise and food. So cutting calories and exercising more. It doesn't just have to be all from cutting calories or just exercising more. It can come from both. But you can't, like Shauna said early on with the myths, you can't out-exercise a bad diet. You just can't. You can't work out 6 days a week and eat Burger King or McDonald's or whatever every single day. Like you just can't do that. It's just not feasible, because it will never, you will always either stay the same or gain a little bit. Or it will always be, you'll always gain the same 5 pounds and lose the same 5 pounds every single week.
So Stephanie, what would you tell somebody new coming into a program, like in regards to any myths? Like, would you come in with an open mind,
Well, yeah, come in with an open mind, but a lot of thing that I see with ladies that I sit down with, they're like, well, I don't lose the weight, right? Like I exercise, but I don't lose the weight. And it goes back to what we were talking about. It's like, well, if you don't eat, you're not going to lose the weight. And I know that because when I don't eat, I gain weight. Gain weight, and I'm like, darn it, and it's bad because like I'll be like doing good on my workouts, but I'll still gain like a pound or two because I'm not eating, right? And come in with an open mind, because there's a lot of things that they don't know about. They're new, and they need to what we have on that PowerPoint, give your body and your yourself, your new routine some grace, right? Because you need to give it time. You need to give it time to change. It's not all going to happen quickly.
New begins.
Let me add something to that. So I just hope the ladies understand that everybody's journey is different. My journey is going to differ from Shauna's. She may lose weight faster than me, you know, and it all depends, not even on your diet, the amount of times you exercise, sleep could go into it. Genetics. Stress is the number one. Stress.
Same here.
Yeah, so it's
solid.
You're like, the grind never stops. The grind can't wait because these muscles gotta get built.
Can we all just have Marcia's life?
I literally, people are like, grind, 5 hours, and like, while you guys are sleeping, I'm awake grinding. I'm like, my muscles are getting built right now. Okay?
I am burning calories still
Right now,
at rest.
still, yes.
Thank you.
The booty is being grown.
I am 8 hours. Like I need 8 hours. But
So important.
I think one thing to add on to what you said is like not comparing journeys. A lot of our ladies have husbands that like when they're on their weight loss journeys, my husband lost 10 pounds in 1 week. Girl, you gotta, your boys are different than girls. Like boys boys carry more muscle mass than girls just do genetically. So they can burn more calories at a faster rate than we can naturally. That's not like, you can ask, you can have conversation with Jesus about that, Adam and Eve, whatever you Buddha, whatever you believe in, but that's their thing. Like that's just naturally how we are. So you literally cannot compare your journey to somebody else's because I told you guys earlier, Marcia and I weigh almost identical. And you could wash your clothes on her abs, and I'm like, where the fuck are mine? Like, I don't know where mine are at. They're somewhere in there. But I will likely never have abs. It's just that's how my genetics are. If you look at my mom and my dad, if you look at her dad, he does 8-ounce curls every day, doesn't work out, and he's got biceps and a 6-pack, and he's like 63. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So you cannot look at somebody else and be like, how come we're this and that, and I work out just as much as you, but I don't look like you. It's like, you can't do that. You can't do that. You will beat yourself up.
So, Melanie, I have a question for you.
Oh, Murray, you're gonna make Melanie talk.
Because you're the youngest of the group.
Yeah.
And we do get, from time to time, women such as yourself coming through the doors. What would be your recommendation for women your age coming into a program like this?
So like, give yourself a break. Like, don't stress out about everything. Like, when I first started, I was a little younger than what I am right now, and like, you know, I just always wanted to be like lifting heavier, and my mom was like, no, like, chill out, like, relax, you're gonna hurt yourself. Like, you know, give yourself a break. You take your time. Like, it's gonna take time. Like, now I'm using 20 pounds and 15 pounds.
Beast mode.
And when I first started, I was only using 5 pounds and
That's
like
awesome.
the purple kettlebells, and like now I'm using the yellow ones and the green ones sometimes. Like, right? You know, so like, it's a process. It's a process. It's gonna take a while. Just like, you know, you'll get there. Like, don't stress yourself out to get there like right away. You know,
cool.
And enjoy the beginning, because let me tell you, newbie gains, you'll never get those back. Damn, I wish that I would have literally hired like a trainer, or I would have gone to a gym, like a student or something in the beginning, because I'm stubborn and I like researching, and I would tried every damn exercise that there
You can't believe everything you find on Google and YouTube.
No. I was reading like articles. Like, I made sure it was like .gov, .edu. Like, you know, I was trying to read like, you know, I'm like, I don't even know what they were saying. You know, and I was just trying to read like everything. Read. I'm like a researcher, okay? I should have been like a scientist or something. I don't know, research, but experiments. But literally, newbie gains is a real thing. You're never like, okay, I don't want to say it like that. I don't want to scare you guys, but I'm like, the gains that you get in the beginning, like, that is the time that's why you're like, why does this person just started working out and they look so different, like, you know, so quick. So hit it hard in the beginning, like, give it all you've got, because I'm telling you, newbie gains, like, let that, like, stick that in your head, like, that is a real thing. I tell people that all the time.
As you get further into your journey,
It's harder to, it's harder,
It gets so
like, I'll count macros at maintenance, and like, I won't notice much change, and in the beginning it's like, oof, drop 5 pounds, like, oof, my stomach's leaning out, wake up super lean.
Your body's like, oh my god, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing to me? And you're
loser shows. That's why people like, they're on there for a week and they lost like
Exactly.
8 pounds. I'm like, because they haven't
Newbie
worked out in
gains,
years,
newbie
and
gains.
the food they're eating is your body is shot. So don't look at shows like that. Like, this should be life.
And when you walk into somewhere like, you know, like LadyStrong, you are given a structured workout. That's not, you know, we're not just pulling it, you know, out of our head and, you know, just giving any type of workout. Like, you know, we have Bree that, you know, she, you know, is someone that went to school for kinesiology, knows the mechanics of the body, knows what to do, knows what to give you. And, you know, at the end of the day, like, we're giving you what you need to succeed, like, right in your hand. And if you just meet us halfway by with the nutrition, you'll be amazed at the results that you can get.
It's like what our mentor said earlier.
Drop her new phone in the fire.
Oh no! Yeah.
Her hands have already been in the fire.
Is that it today?
You guys are funny. No.
It's fine.
So it's like what Corbin said, which is our mentor, is that the coaches are like the doctors who are prescribing you what you need, right? When you go to the doctor to get medication, you would trust what they're advising you is what you need in order to get better, right?
Don't go to Google to get your
Exactly. In the same way when you come to fitness, right? If you tell the coach like, hey, this is my goal, and they're like, well, you need to be here 3-4 times a week, why would you not listen to them, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So
It's. I think we had a conversation earlier about Tara, you mentioned this, like wants versus needs. Like, if you want to have more confidence, if you want your significant other to look at you with like that look that you're just like you crave, or if your kids are making comments and saying things to you that they notice you're either getting heavier or you're slower or whatever, if you crave that self-confidence and that just can step out of the house and just feel good about yourself or fit into those clothes that you've always wanted to fit in or whatever that is, like, you have to decide what you need or what you want, right? And if you want that, you will make time for it. You will find the money for it. You will make the investment in that stuff. Because I always tell everybody, like, when we talk about memberships, I'm always like, we all get to vote with our dollars every single day. When we get a paycheck put in our pocket, we get to decide where that goes. We get to pay our bills, and then after that, we get to decide if we want that coffee at Starbucks, if we want that new purse, if we want to go to the movies, if we want to get our hair done. We get to decide where we put our money. And if we want that body and we want that life, we will vote our dollars to that.
Amen.
But you have to want that. Like, you can't come to a gym like LadyStrong or any other premium boutique studio and expect it to be $10 a month. Like, you can't, because if you want accountability, if you want results, if you really do want results and somebody to make sure that you get there, you are going to pay a premium price for that. It's like it's like box color or going to the freaking salon and paying $100 for color.
I've said that before, though.
thank you, Jesus.
It's the truth, though. I've said it before, though. Are you a value shopper or are you a price shopper? Because for the price, you can go get an app for $10. But are you going to use that app? Is it someone that's going to be walking you and be like, hey, move your foot like 3 feet to the right side because you're in the wrong squat position. You know, push your knees out, push your heels. You know, so it's are you a price shopper or a value shopper? And at the end of the day, it's a want and a need. And if you want to change and you want change in life, you know, people are so quick, you know, $45 for what? No chip, $80 for lashes, $40 for the pedicure. You're talking about over, like, you know, well over 150. One stop, you know, one place. And that's only, you know, and then Starbucks every day. You're paying $3.50. The lashes fall off. Yeah, exactly. You know, and then like, or if you're spending like a bunch of money on supplements, but you're not doing the right thing to work out, the supplements are there to help you. You know, so if you're doing all the right things, you're going to see a lot more value out of the things that, you know,
it's
that you
just
do.
all about like what you decide that you want in your life. And I think we should end on this because I feel like this is like a good like stamp on the end of the conversation is like, it's like box color versus going to the salon and getting your hair cut and colored. Like, you want your hair to look ratchet out of a box, or do you want like you want to look nice? It's the truth. It is the truth. Do you want your body to look like a $10 membership, or do you want it to look like a $170 membership? Like, there is a difference between the two.
With someone that went to, like, people that like spend time getting certifications, people that went to school for this. Like, we're not just like, I think the biggest thing is like there's structure, and there's a reason why things are programmed the days that like, the ways that they are, you know.
And there's a reason why we ask you to eat the way that we ask you to eat, and there's a reason why we ask you to do exercises the way we ask you to do exercises. There's a reason why we hold you accountable the way that we hold you accountable. And that's just the way that we work. That's how we work. That's why we've been able to get such amazing results with our members, is because we do the work, we do the research, we have the best coaches, we have the best staff, we have the best people in place to give you the stuff that you need to really be successful. So I think that's a good stamp on that.
Yeah. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning in on another episode of the LadyStrong Fitcast, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Take care. Bye.
Thanks for joining us today. If you like this episode, subscribe to our YouTube channel or find our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or whatever your favorite place is to listen to podcasts. And if you really liked this episode, please leave a review for us on iTunes. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.